What's up, Wompsters? Podswag offers merch from all your favorite podcasts.
Like Comedy Bang Bang.
How Did This Get Made?
And of course, Womp It Up.
They've got t-shirts, hoodies, plus posters, mugs, onesies, even gift cards, and so much more to choose from.
Start shopping today at podswag.com/WOMP, WOMP, and use the code WOMP for 30% off the entire collection from December 4th through December 15th.
That's podswag.com/WOMP, code WOMP. Oh, yeah. What's up, Wompsters? I got a bee in my bonnet because we womp it up these jams, womp it up. Trying to live this hashtag authentic life in the city of dreams, the city of Hollywood. You gonna stop me?
No, why? Why would I?
Doing
That was
spoken
great.
word. I was trying to think of some.
Do you think that was offensive in a way?
No.
Salient?
What's the word?
Salient?
Salient scenes from A Star
I guess it
Is
could be
Born.
Salliable. What, did you watch A Star Is Born?
Yes.
How did you see that?
I stole a screener from my neighbor.
Your neighbor who's a screenwriter?
Listen, I don't know what he does, but I just.
He's a writer's
but
guild.
I've been waiting for it, and I got a couple ones I didn't want. I've thrown those in the garbage, but then I got A Star Is Born, and I was up all night.
Did you curl up in Gaga's eyes?
I sure did, and I was up all night just crying, just crying for.
What was it? What was at the core of it?
I felt like Bradley Cooper had
was
done
an empathetic thing?
had done a lot of skin damage in the deep tan he gave himself.
It was probably just makeup, but
I felt like I was sad that I didn't get to see Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper have actual sex.
they don't show that in the film.
Not enough.
So they do show it, but
Just
it just wasn't enough for you?
Just some
light teasing?
tub romps
They have sex in a tub, in a filled tub with water?
with bubbles and water, which you know has been a dream of mine.
It's not actually great to have sex in water because it takes all the lubrication away.
I never thought about that. Water isn't lube.
That's right.
That's a PSA. But listen, I got myself out of bed and I'm here and I'm feeling raw, but I feel like that's a good thing because our guest today
has seen it, has been in it, been through it, and returned from whence he came.
That's right. And our guest today is a man who's crossed over. He's crossed over to the other side.
I think I introduced him perfectly well. So just say his name.
Okay. And our guest today is Cory Damron.
Hi, you guys.
Cory, welcome. Cory.
This is an exciting get because I know you're being profiled by like actual news media.
Channel 4 came to your house to interview you. And I will say, if this was 2 weeks ago, not an interesting guest because Cory Damron is known at this school as to be one of the most boring people that anybody's ever had the displeasure of sitting next to.
True.
I spoke to a couple people. Nancy Damian, who's sat next to you in homeroom every day, every year since kindergarten. She said just the sound of your voice puts her immediately to sleep.
Yeah, she would sometimes just look at me and then fall asleep and pretend that she was snoring.
You know why Nancy Damian is a nasty piece of business? Is because she has very porous hair. And you know how it looks like, and it looks like a old rag, you know, or like fried.
Not like a fresh rag.
No, not like a fresh rag, but like an old, like a tumbleweed. If you took a tumbleweed and made it into a scarecrow for hair for a scarecrow,
I have no
that's what
idea
her hair
what
looks
you're
like.
describing.
It's dry. You know Nancy Damian?
Yes, of course. I know Nancy. I'm picturing her hair right now. But then when you say she has porous hair that looks like a tumbleweed on a scarecrow,
it's like a fire hazard.
Yeah,
it is.
Anyway, Cory Damron, we're so excited to have you on because recently, and we're going to get into it later, but you had an experience that not many people living have.
Right, because most people who have had it are dead.
Right.
But I had a brief death experience, I guess.
You were dead for how long?
For 6 hours.
Oh my God,
That
Cory!
is almost impossible to believe.
So you were legally dead. They had announced you dead, or they were...
You have to do that, but it's a law.
It's a law, and you were dead for 6 hours, and then you woke up. You shocked everybody.
I woke up in a drawer, in a metal drawer.
God.
Oh, wow!
And did they think you were a zombie or a Dracula or something?
Nope, they said we got another one.
That happens a lot.
Happens a lot?
Oh.
I don't know if it's a lot, but it's happened before to people.
And they said you had started to tap out a Morse code, because that was one of the things you used to bore people about, is that you had learned Morse code. And
how are you saying it?
Morse code.
Okay.
Morse code.
It sounds like you're saying Morris, like Morris the cat.
But it's Morse.
Oh, it's
like horse with an M.
Morse.
Right,
I get
exactly.
it. You considered yourself Marina Del Rey's only wind talker, like the Native Americans.
I did 23andMe and found out that I don't have a Native American in me, but I just like them.
Oh,
and
yeah.
so I found a tribe that if you like them,
You can pay? Do you have to pay?
nice.
You always have to pay.
You learned smoke signals, and also I think you did a whole project on semaphore.
Which also put everybody to sleep. Like literally, you got up in front of a class, you
I
started
was
waving some
impressed.
flags around. People are just out like a light.
Right.
Like ASMR. Is that what it is when you listen to people going like brushing their hair? Yep.
That's
And then you
whispering
fall
and
asleep.
things like that.
Yeah.
That's right.
I think.
That's
Or
right.
what was that? That sounds like something else. That sounds like
All
bathtub
right, Cory.
sex.
Corey, you came back from the dead with a sense of humor. That's exciting. So anyway, we're going to get into it because Corey did a stunt. It was a
For
YouTube
Instagram.
for Instagram.
Yeah.
Okay, I was going to say YouTube, but yeah, it was an Instagram stunt in a desperate attempt to get some attention, to get out of the rut,
I wanted to
popularity
show
wise.
people the real me.
Yeah.
Right, that you
'Cause
had something to
inside,
offer.
It's just jumping off the walls.
That's right. That's
So I can't wait to hear about this stunt. Should we do?
First, I should tell people what they're listening
Absolutely.
to. All right. That was a tease. Everybody, my name is Marissa Wompler. I don't know how old I am. I've been a senior for nigh on 6, 7 to 18 years. I don't really know.
Right.
Much like the Native Americans, I tell time by the sun. And how many moons have I been here? I don't know. Corey's going to have to let me know. I've been here long enough to know how boring Cory was before he almost died, or he did die. And
Don't take that away from me.
yeah, and we won't. But listen,
It's what you got to hold on to it. You know.
but Cory, you got 15 minutes of fame here. And you got to make the most of it, okay? Like in the movie She's All That, right? She comes down the steps. She doesn't have her glasses anymore. Everybody wants to fuck her, but you can't waste that night.
She was a crazy drug addict, but she's better now.
What? Who was?
Amanda Bynes.
Is that Amanda Bynes in that movie?
No.
Oh.
See, that's another reason Cory drives
I think
people
it was.
fucking crazy.
I think it
it's
was.
not Amanda Bynes.
was in another similar movie.
She's the man.
That's the one.
Wow.
Where what? She pretends to be a man?
She's all that, man.
She's All That was like a pixie. She was a little waif of a girl.
Yeah,
with
she
black,
was.
with brown
I
hair.
don't know where she ended up, but
Well, Amanda Bynes is back. She's back in the pink. It's nice to see.
In the pink.
that's disgusting.
I think that
No.
means vagina.
One in the pink and one in the
pink
stink.
it means like you're back in the pink of health. It's
It's a reference to being alive again.
I learned it's like from the 1930s. It's
Cory!
when I was
Cory,
dead.
you have 15 minutes of fame. Do not waste it by being your old self.
I think we've already been talking for 15 minutes.
All right. Let's do hot topics.
Anyway, this is my podcast, Womp It
you
Up.
need to
My name's
say that,
Marissa
sure.
Wompler. This is, to my right is Charlotte, quote, Shardog Listler, my teacher at the STARS program, an alternative learning program at Marina Del Rey Public High School, a.k.a. Spaz Academy. She's a former sniper.
That's right.
Current hot fox.
Thank you.
On the loose, looking for love on the wharf. Her memoir, Love on the Wharf, to come out later this spring.
I'm going to release it in tweets.
They're going to release it in tweets. Yeah, this is just a podcast, my senior podcast project where I try to, peel back the layers of the onion that is Marina Del Rey Public High School and the environs. So
We've got a couple things to look forward to.
Yeah.
Right? As always, we've got our hot topics or what's cheesing you. We're going to talk about the things that are currently pissing us off, a lot to be angry about.
Yeah.
And then we'll dive into your advice questions.
And listeners love lockdown.
Right. Thanks for sending those in. As always, we look forward to that. And then finally, a spotlight on.
Right. So
let's do hot topics.
All right, let's do some hot topics. Is this from The Star is Born? Nope. Not at all.
I haven't screened that yet.
Is this Richard Marx?
Yes.
You know, he was like, just got together with his band. He's like, what if it just started off just with me on the keys? You know, dun, 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 and then the synth comes in, right? Yeah, that's right. This is the kind of music I'd want playing if I was going to have sex in a tub.
Now, I think this is more what Nancy Damien's hair looks like. If I were describing her hair, I would say it's like Richard Marx, yeah.
From this specific video?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
or do you think
why are you
hair
throwing shade on Richard Marx? This is when men were getting perms.
Yeah, he had fried his hair.
A man's hair can't handle a perm. Right? Or can it?
Depends on the hair.
Mine actually became permed during my accident.
Did it really? From the shock?
I held on to a live wire. I was trying to
an actual live wire.
I was doing a half gainer off of the roof.
What's a half gainer?
That's where you standing on your feet and then you kick your feet up to do a dive.
Are you a diver?
No, but I was just trying to get some
distance.
Just wanted to give the people something interesting to look at, and so I was doing that off the roof into my neighbor's pool, but they didn't have a pool.
Wait a second.
Wait a minute.
What?
I was blindfolded, so I didn't know.
Who told you that there was
noticed that your neighbors have or don't have a pool?
I have never been invited over to my neighbor's house, so this was the first time.
And you've never been up on that building that's right next to.
And who told you? Was it your older brother who was holding the camera, or who was leading you astray in that way?
It was a consortium of most of the kids in the neighborhood.
Oh, man.
So
and you live on Windsor Court, right?
Oh my God.
You live in Windsor Court.
I do.
Some of these kids, they're rich kids.
Yeah.
Right? Now, you actually not
like
from a rich family.
Dark stuff.
You guys were like original before Windsor Court became Windsor Court. Mm-hmm. And do you think they had it out for you? You know, because they wanted to get rid of the...
Well, you know, when you go to the other side, you briefly get all the answers. Mm-hmm. And so I think that they were just jealous.
Wow. So you are telling me right now, and I want to get more into what happened when you realized in that moment that there was no pool.
Mm-hmm. It was right after I held onto that live electrical wire.
So, okay.
Did you grasp for the wire in an attempt to break your fall? Or was that part of the plan?
They actually guided me towards the half gainer toward there. There's like a little mini power station right next to the corner of the yard. So it was all by design, but just not mine.
So So how high up off the ground are you? Now, we've
is
seen
this a garage roof, or is this one of these McMansions?
I showed you the video.
Yes,
right?
Yes.
They quickly took it off of Instagram, which is sad that the one thing that you did to gain fame has now been erased.
And I had so many likes.
So many. How many likes did you garner?
It was like 100.
Wow. Well, before they took it off, but that was within seconds, right? You had 100 likes in seconds and they took it down. Is that right? Almost better, though, that we can imagine in our mind's eye, you know, the legend. And
rather than prove it.
That's right. Rather than prove it. Sure. And there was also, you know, while you were technically, you know, you were in the hospital, there was a whole, you know, a hashtag. I forget what it was. People were raising money for you, you know, for your family. Hashtag gainer. What was it? Gainer gains or gains for gainers or
Gainer,
what?
it was gainer or loser. question
Gainer
mark.
or loser question. Hashtag gainer or loser question mark.
But that doesn't seem like it would be a fundraiser for his medical care. It seems like it would be a fundraiser.
It was for my coffin.
It was for his coffin.
Oh no!
And then did you have to give that money back?
I was able to keep the coffin, so we have that. We have
Just
that.
in case,
put it
right?
in?
For future
You're
stuff.
not sleeping in it, are you? Is it
No.
comfortable? Because some of those coffins, I think, well, that looks like a good place for a nap.
I don't think it's padded underneath, just on the sides for a fact.
I see. Yeah. Why were they going to waste that kind of silk and pads underneath?
You're not going to feel that.
You're not going to feel that.
Yeah.
It's almost like, you know how like in the back seat of a car, there's that hump from the crankshaft.
That's right.
There's like one of those in the bottom of every coffin.
Why? To keep you up, to keep your head up, right? Or
I think it's just to keep the body in a more natural looking state.
Interesting. Wow. But now, do you sleep in your coffin nightly, or where do you store it in?
I'll nap in it.
Oh,
do you
that's
keep
nice.
it? Your family is agreed that it's okay to keep it in the house because that seems kind of like a morbid situation.
Like a reminder of.
Yeah.
Well, to quote my dad, TikTok.
Ooh.
Wow.
We're all going to
So
die.
it might not be you that's going to use that
Right.
coffin.
I may have to give up my coffin.
And you guys are very frugal. That's one of the reasons why you've been made fun of, because you're wearing some of your sister's clothes, old hand-me-downs, and your brother's old hand-me-downs, and, and you're always bringing a lunch to school that, the rest of us go out, and you are always bringing like a very smelly, like a mayonnaise-based salad sandwich, which usually causes a lot of distress in the classroom.
Luckily, my sister is obese, and so a lot of her clothes, you couldn't tell if they were male or female. They all look like slankets.
Well, we do know that it's Eileen Fisher. Most of the clothes you're wearing to school are Eileen Fisher gigantic tunic sweaters.
Oh, I never looked at the label.
Yeah, that's Eileen Fisher.
It's just it's a clothing line.
For big ladies.
You've been getting the catalogs
for
at your
years.
house next to Soft Surroundings.
That's right.
Hey, I just want to say a big thank you. This is my hot topics is to say online we've been getting a lot of like fan letting us know that they are connected to us somehow. We had a guy go to he was only in LA for like 12 hours.
Yeah.
He stopped by the Jersey Mike's in Marina Del Rey. And
Which is very exciting.
That touched my heart.
Me
deeply.
too. And I asked him to write in because he said he had a magical night in Marina Del Rey.
Yeah.
And I'd love to know what other stops were on that itinerary.
Absolutely.
He mostly went to one of the best restaurants in town.
100%.
For sure.
100%.
What's
Shout
your
out.
favorite sandwich there?
Well, we love it Mike's way. We have a Shore Points card and
Jersey Mike's Ashore.
yeah, as a Shore, the Shore Points and then
Jersey Shore.
Jersey Shore, and I get I like to get a 6-inch tuna, all the fixins. What do you?
Well, I barter in the back. I usually barter for services. I don't really traffic in money, and so I'll go in and I'll work like a half a shift or do something that they like, and then they'll give me a shrimp salad. And they don't they don't sell shrimps to other people.
No, that's off the menu.
You've got your hairnet on right now.
Yeah, that's what it's from. It's to keep my mohawk protected from getting
the
into
all those tasty scrimps.
the mortadella.
Yeah. But yeah, so we want to thank everybody for sharing with us, how, and obviously we would love another update about how those two Wompsters who united over their love of Womp It Up, who've recently moved in together. Yeah. I've said again that we will officiate the wedding when and if they get engaged. We will take that trip to West Virginia or Maryland or wherever that is they lived. Arlington.
What religion are they?
Good question.
We're not sure.
We don't know all the deets.
What religion are you?
I'm kind of all of them now.
I bet. Because did you see?
I saw everybody but Jesus, and they said that he was busy getting ready to come back.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Like imminently?
They didn't give me a day or.
Wait, so you saw Buddha, everybody,
Yeah.
and they all hang out together like a.
they're different, people hang out at different times, but it's not like only the religious people hang out together. This is the weird thing. There is no hell. So,
well, that's good news.
Except then when you run into Hitler in the afterworld, and you're not allowed. The one thing is you have to be polite.
Oh,
so you gotta be polite
awkward.
To everybody. And my grandmother was there, and I hated her. She threw shoes at me.
Oh no! And you had to see her and still be polite.
Was she still rude?
She wasn't wearing her shoes, and so that was the first thing I checked for her. And
Cory.
But beyond that, you have to look people in the eye and say hello.
Oh, that sounds.
Who it is.
But is everybody on their best behavior? Like,
well, yeah, because
is the
that's
slate
the only way you
wiped
get kicked
clean?
out. I don't know if your slate is wiped clean, but you will be punished. So everybody is.
By who?
And what is the punishment?
I think you get kicked out.
And go where?
I don't know.
You weren't there long enough.
I was only there for 6 hours.
Right. And did that seem like 6 hours, or did it seem like longer?
It seemed like longer.
Mm-hmm.
You're very intuitive.
Thanks. Well, I've not ever flatlined, but I've been close to death, and I've also done an amazing amount of natural drugs.
Like what?
Which allow me to go
ayahuasca
anywhere.
Yeah.
Is that natural?
I think it's a plant, right?
Plant-based.
Yeah. You should know that with your Native American obsession that you bore us all with.
For starters, a lot of things are plant-based, but then they're treated and then they're no longer natural.
Right. I'm not talking about the street drug or Molly or any of those,
I'm
mixtures
sure there's a plant
that's chemical.
Somewhere.
Sure. No, I'm not talking about that.
Oh.
Cory,
we got to go to a break.
Okay, but when we come back, I want you to tell me, did you choose to come back? And if so, why?
Okay.
Yeah, see, what about this? If I just lay down these keys and then maybe you come in with a little ones and a twos. Not yet.
No, we want to start only on the keys.
Right, but give me a lot of reverb. And then give me some...
I'm coming in with the...
Yeah, that feels right. That feels right. Oh, and then I still come in with this and then a lower. Yeah.
Maybe we should start a yacht rock band.
Ding, ding. All right.
We'll be back
with more Womp It Up. That is just the way it is. Some things will never change, just like how fucking boring this guy is, right?
He can hear you.
Hey, Wompsters, there's a really great show here at Earwolf.
It's called Gilbert Gottfried's Amazing Colossal Podcast.
Now, you might know Gilbert Gottfried from the billion things he's done, from Aladdin, Beverly Hills Cop 2, Problem Child.
Up All Night? That's what I remember him from.
Well, he's also an incredibly talented and respected stand-up.
Gilbert brings celebrities like Weird Al, Judd Apatow, and Ira Glass onto his podcast to talk about show business legends, old horror movies, folklore, dirty jokes, and stories from the road.
And this week they have a really special new episode with Alan Alda. Oh my gosh, is there anybody funnier or better than him, who you know from tons of great movies and shows like MASH, The West Wing, The Aviator. I mean,
do not want to miss this one.
Other recent guests include Rosanna Arquette, Paul Feig, Patton Oswalt, Peter Fonda, and Sid and Marty Krofft. Check out new episodes of Gilbert Gottfried's Amazing Colossal Podcast every Monday wherever you listen, like Stitcher or Apple Podcasts. Welcome back to more Womp It Up. With us today, we have Cory Damron, who was technically dead for 6 hours after a failed Instagram stunt, and is here to tell the tales of what he saw on the other side. What is... Hey, true or false?
True.
Are
we doing truth or
sax,
false?
You played sax, backup sax, for some of these. You were a session sax musician for Toto.
True.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
All right. Cory, before we left for the break, you were telling us about, kind of what seems a bit of a bummer about about the
other
afterlife,
side.
which is you have to be polite to everybody, even evil people. Did you decide, you know what, this isn't for me?
No,
Do you get to choose?
I was asked to go back.
Oh, did you bore everybody up there?
I don't know because everyone was being so polite.
Oh, but did you, let me ask you this. Did you share any of your passion for?
I did.
Okay.
I did. I told them my theory behind the TV show Growing Pains.
Oh, what is
that?
it? What is it?
It's actually kind of exciting.
Oh, that Kirk Cameron
Yeah.
is actually a representation of, like, he's a Christ figure.
Okay.
Figure, not actual.
Because he is, the real Kirk Cameron is
He's very
religious.
religious. Yes.
Yeah. So you feel like
He was chosen.
he was chosen for that role, or?
I just think the writers on the show they had a paradigm that they were doing, rather than doing just a regular sitcom, that they were using ancient tropes.
Really? Who was Boner?
Boner was Judas.
Wait, is Boner from that show or from Doogie Howser?
No, Boner was from another show. I think it was from Family Ties. I'm not sure.
We got to do some first-person research on that because I'm pretty sure his best friend's name was Boner.
That was Andrew Koenig, and that was Growing Pains. You were right.
I think that why we're here is to figure things out.
Why
Well,
we're here.
That's
on
an
this
aha
earth.
moment.
Okay.
That's an aha moment.
Figure out like what? Like what's the question?
That was the last thing that they said to me when they sent me back. They said, "Shut up and figure it out." And
Oh,
then I
I'd
woke
say
up in
that-
a metal drawer.
Okay. Was there any sense that you got that maybe you had unfinished business here, or that your life still had things that you needed to complete?
I think, when I woke up in that drawer, I realized I should probably do some things.
So what was the first thing you did? You got out of that drawer.
I called your producers and I asked to be on this podcast.
Wow.
Now we don't
Pretty influential.
We don't have producers, so
We do have one. I hired one.
what?
I hired one.
Right.
Not that girl Sandy.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
she's a
was Sandy.
freshman.
Yeah.
So she's been out and about
With the
trying
cystic
to get.
acne?
Yeah. Oh, what's
That's
the matter?
really painful, though. You should be,
I just don't like unattractive people.
Well, I get it. I mean,
I don't-
who does?
I don't. I don't like
But
them.
you can be nice to people.
Yeah.
Especially cystic acne is very painful. It's like
Mm-hmm.
having a worm boring
Oh my
through your
God!
pores.
Yeah, but in lots of tiny places.
Okay.
All over your face.
Listen, I'm going to hear from the
And
cystic
back.
acne people out there, and I listen. My heart goes out to them, but I don't need Sandy in my face. You know what I mean?
You didn't even know about her. Why
I
are
didn't
you?
know why she was skulking around. I saw her outside of the library.
Yeah.
Well, what? So she's just.
But so you saw all of the other student body. Why are you just picking on Sandy?
Well, what is she going to be like?
She's organizing things. She's helping me to produce. She's
Why
helping
can't
me
Sam do that?
line because Sam is getting a master's. Okay?
She's probably going to be something someday.
Sandy, for sure. When you endure that kind of pain as a young adult, the rest is easy. The rest is easy.
And you're going to be an angry lady with power.
That's right. Making real change.
Yeah.
Okay?
Sam, don't fuck Sandy.
It's a big age difference. I don't think he can.
Sam,
We can't hear you. If you're talking, you're whispering again.
God, why isn't his mic working? Get Sandy on.
Why
it.
does he have a mic?
I don't know. That's Sandy's problem.
No, it isn't.
Not mine.
Hey, you're throwing a lot of shade at Sandy, and you just found out that
And I
she
don't
even
like
exists.
it. I don't like change. I think we've established that.
Oh God. All right. Should we do what she's in you?
All right, let's do it.
You see this?
Yeah.
Is this how people treat each other in the afterlife?
No.
Thank
no.
you.
There's
Thank
no
you.
bitches in
No,
heaven.
no bitches in heaven. There's something to crochet on a pillow. Cory, Damron, welcome to a segment we like to call What's Cheesing You, in which we air our grievances, okay?
Cheesing is like something's bothering you?
That's right.
Exactly.
What kind of phrase is that from?
Oh, God. Nobody cares about etymology.
What's cheesing you? What cheesing you? What's cheesing you? What's cheesing you? What's cheesing you?
A little off the beat there.
What's cheesing you? Hey, don't fucking come for my rhythm, okay?
What's cheesing you?
You can come for my mayhawk, you can come for my cystic acne, but don't come for my rhythm.
All right.
What if I just threw in a like...
What if I just came in and then All right.
So we're talking about what's cheesing us. Do you want to go first? Sandy? Is Sandy your cheese?
Sandy is not my cheese, but what is my cheese is who moved my cheese. It's change. I don't like it. I don't want it. It's why I will stay in high school for the rest of my life if I can.
Yeah.
What about like when your body changed and your boobs came out and your
that's where the
burger grew
beginning.
some fur?
That's oh my God, Cory.
What did you call it?
Cory?
Your burger grew some
Cory,
fur.
is this a new personality you're trying out where you're fucking disgusting?
Is that what your mom and dad call it? Your burger?
Yeah, I heard it was in. I think it's in their wedding vow.
What are you talking about? It's in their wedding vows.
But wait, a vagina is a burger or your
fur
downstairs
burger.
is your
Your
burger?
I don't know. Your burger is what you hold precious.
Oh my God.
Because your dad's most precious thing is a burger?
It's like,
Is
hey,
your mom's
what's
burger?
what's your burger? You know what I mean? It's like that. It's sort of like what's cheesing you. It's just I think it's a use of food to express a
I've
bigger
heard
point.
a penis called a pickle and a vagina called a cookie. I've heard it all, but
You've
I've
not
never
heard fur
heard.
burger?
I've
I'm
never.
gonna mow down on that fur burger.
You've never
Everybody's
heard of
heard that.
Like I'll have a fur burger with thighs, side of
A
thighs.
side of thighs. You haven't heard
No,
of that?
I never heard that. I've heard fur shorts.
Well,
Because
that's
when you haven't shaved, you're wearing a pair of fur shorts.
yeah. But now, Cory,
It's hard to bounce back from fur burger, guys. I'm not gonna lie.
Cory,
Yeah.
I just want to get to my cheese, but
It's what you hold precious.
your parents are very much in love. Is that right? Mm-hmm. And that's another reason the kids on Windsor Court, most of whom are from broken homes.
We're the only intact home, and I
That's
think
right.
all of Eastern Marina Del Rey.
Wow. Yeah, that's about right.
Wow. So that makes a lot of sense. That's the motive there, to get you to jump off a roof.
Off a building, blindfolded into a supposed pool that didn't exist. So then, as you reached the bottom, did the blindfold fly off or something, and you could see what was happening?
No, I did a half gainer, which is when you.
I
That's
know.
when you go feet up and then
Yes.
dive.
Right.
And
But you're blindfolded.
but I'm blindfolded.
and you'd never done it before. You'd never done a half gainer before. You'd just seen it on TV.
Yeah, I just looked it up.
And is half gainer like a term that is used in skiing, ski
No,
jumps?
Olympics.
It's
The
a
Olympics. If
diving.
you watch the diving
A
competitions,
full gainer is when you do a flip. Where
It's
you
also
kick
when
your
you-
legs forward.
when
and
you
then
drop
land
a
on
real
it.
deuce, you go, I just did a full gainer
Full
there.
gainer.
Yeah.
I've never heard that either. Learning lots of new urban
I just made that
dictionary
one up.
words.
So that's
Well,
why.
when did you grab the electrical line? At what point?
After I had landed,
On the... What did you land on?
it was
concrete?
on concrete, and then so my hands were broken because I landed on them first.
Right, because they were in a perfect V, like as if you were diving, trying not to make a splash.
So I said, "Ow, my hands are hurt," and then they said, "Here, hold on to this," and then they handed me a live wire.
Oh my God.
that's when
These
I
are
went.
sadistic assholes.
So there were people down at the bottom waiting for you, and they thought, if this doesn't kill him, this will.
I don't like to assign motives, but it seems like there's no other reason why you would hand somebody a live electrical
Did you-
wire.
It really isn't.
Because now I don't want to put this in your mouth, but to me, that's what would be cheesing me.
Yeah, is that a
What,
couple?
the people that live immediately around me conspired to have me
Kill
to kill myself.
Yes.
Yeah, it bugged me. I'll be honest, I was pretty cheesed.
And is that what is cheesing you?
And I don't want any of that cheese on my burger.
Are we talking about your mom's vagina again?
No,
On
not-
his personal burger.
Yeah,
His
everybody has a
personal burger.
burger.
Right.
My mom's burger is apparently her vagina. I didn't put all that together
Until just now.
Yeah.
Have you seen those kids? Are you guys threatening
them
legal
every day.
action? Really?
Yeah. Are you pressing charges? Are your parents pressing charges?
They opted for just to have the lawn mowed on a regular basis.
So the kid who masterminded it mows your lawn, and I heard, and tell me if this is true, that he mowed "fuck you" into your lawn.
He did.
So that's what
fuck you and your family. It says,
It's a big lawn.
yeah, in the ass.
And then so you look down, you wake up in the morning, you know, pull back the curtains and you just say "fuck you" and your family.
It
in
was
the ass.
facing your window. Wow.
He mapped it out pretty shrewdly.
Wow.
That guy is no good. He looks like in Pretty in Pink, the guy Spader, right? James Spader.
Spader.
He looks a lot like that guy when he was younger. A lot of open button downs, pink button downs.
A kind of roundish face.
Yes.
With nothing unpleasant, but nothing really that you can hang your eyes on. If you had to like do a police drawing later, you'd be like, I don't know. He just looks like James Spader.
That's right. Oh God,
What's
Cory.
that guy's name?
James Spader?
No, not the actor, the kid.
Oh, Brian Schatzline.
Brian Chatzline.
Schatzline.
Schatzline. Well, you know, what you're looking at right now is Lister is writing that name down in a tiny red book. And that means that something might happen to him.
Well,
We won't know when or where.
Be careful of taking revenge, because then you end up.
Why? What happens in the afterlife?
In the afterlife, you end up with a terrible roommate.
Really? Who was yours?
I
You
didn't do
didn't
anything
even move
wrong,
in. You
so-
didn't even move in.
you got your own
No.
place, or
Well, I knocked on a door, and
that's the first thing that you remember when you died? Is that you knocked on a door?
yeah, you're presented with a door and you knock on it, and then you open, presumably you open it, but on the other side of the door they said, "Try something else, asshole," and then
That sounds rude.
That's a tough way
and
to
I
get
thought,
in.
but then they said, "Just kidding," but try something else. So they.
They were just kidding about the asshole part.
Right. It's like ribbing.
I see.
You know.
And you never
Like a
got,
McRib.
and no one would ever open their door to you. Is
No.
that part of it? Wow.
No, nobody opened the door. So
Is it white light, like a bright white light there?
It is. It's like two headlights coming at you.
Are you sure that wasn't Brian Shatliner's car? Because he also ran over you. Is that correct?
Yes, it was evening.
Okay. Wow. This is tough stuff.
So he got out his car after just
In the
to
backyard.
make literally
He did
sure
donuts.
you were dead. He did donuts.
He did donuts on my back.
And it's 2 weeks later and you're fine. That's what's crazy to me.
You heal.
Save the casts on your hands. You're fine.
Yep.
Wow. I mean, you really were. That's where you say to yourself, this guy was meant to come back. I just don't know for what. I don't know for what.
Well, we'll find out.
I guess we will. I mean, we've got a whole school here.
Figure it out, right?
Have you had any, obviously a surge in popularity, people are interested in hearing, but then once they hear your tale, are you getting any follow-up? Have any girls, expressed interest in you? Or
I've been blown almost every day.
No,
Yeah.
is that true?
Yeah.
What?
And what do you mean by blown? Because some of the words aren't always what we think that they are.
I take off my pants, I spread my legs, and then she blows air on my testicles.
Right.
Who's doing this, Sandy?
Sandy,
I told you there's something rotten about
Sandy,
that girl.
Linda, Pam, Sulagoo.
Wait, Sulagoo, the woman from the front office?
Oh, we're going to get her fired.
And you know what's weird? She had clearly just had corn nuts because
Smelled like corn nuts.
My balls smelled like corn nuts.
You could get down there to sniff those balls.
I'm pretty limber.
I
He
guess
was
you
able
are
to
now.
do a half gainer of never having tried it before.
You should be some sort of an Olympic athlete with your
Ooh,
resilience.
that'd be a great story. One of those, when they do those like profiles
Yeah.
of the athletes, that'd be a
Yes.
great comeback story.
Yes.
Maybe I will.
You think about that, decathlon or something.
Sure, one of the easier ones like that.
Sulagoo. blow it on your nuts. I mean, that's, God. Mm-hmm. Like a real witch's coven. Those are all extremely unattractive women you've listed.
It's all technically also not, I guess it's not legally actionable.
If you take your own pants down.
There was no contact.
It is actionable. I assure you.
Are you? Oh.
I assure you it's actionable.
Nobody listens to this. So, Sue, you're safe for another day. We got to get Sue Legoo on, though, and see, like, what.
Is her last name Legoo? I thought her first name was Sue Legoo.
That was Sue
Legoo.
She's French.
Yeah, Legoo, from the Legoo province. You ever heard of
You know how, like, the French have that habit of naming everyone after their town?
That's right.
Just take on your last name is the town that you were born.
Yeah, Sue of the Goo.
Sue Legoo.
Yeah, wow.
It's a French town name.
Well,
Goo.
you know what? It's something. It's something at least better than what you were getting before, which was people falling asleep. You know, your own mother fell asleep at the wheel while driving you to school one day just because of the sound of your voice. Mm-hmm. I mean, that was another time you almost died. And you survived that.
I had to protect her burger.
I wonder if there's going to be a change afoot within you, how long it's going to take to kind of manifest itself, or if that's already happening. Do you feel a difference in yourself and how you walk down the street and what your intent in the world is?
Yeah, I definitely think that it's already begun. For starters, my walk has changed, mosely due to the walker.
Right.
You know that
it's hard to hold on to those too with your cast hands.
Yeah. It wasn't really well thought out, I don't think, in terms of a medical.
No, not at all. Well, you went to Marina Del Rey Hospital,
Medical
right?
Center.
Medical Center.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That was your first mistake. You were so close to Cedars. An extra 15 minutes would have gotten you into a state-of-the-art hospital.
The ambulance, and you got in one of those ambulans, right? One of those new ambulans with a Z.
What are those?
It's like a knockoff of an ambulance.
Oh. Yeah,
like the Uber of ambulances?
Kind of.
Like more like the Lyft.
Yeah, exactly, like a Virgin America. Okay. You know, they're going to have like purple lights inside. There's going to be soft like Sade playing, but like a techno version.
Okay.
Yeah, as they get you to the hospital.
But they brought you to not such a good place. Mm-hmm. But listen, hey,
they obviously did an okay job. I mean,
I don't
they
know
might
if
have
they did. They put
dead,
you in the morgue.
But he's alive, right?
That's right.
I think that's more to do with him than it is to do with...
I do know that the medical practitioner, not the doctor, but the medical practitioner that saw me is claiming, credit for it.
Well, he's already been interviewed by Oprah. He was on Oprah's Super Soul Sunday. Mm-hmm. Right. Why weren't you the interview? They pre-interviewed you or what? And then they said no?
Yeah, they checked in to whether, they asked me a couple questions and then just said, never mind.
Wow.
We'd rather
I don't know why
have
that's about.
Medical practice. Well, I hear that Oprah is, not always interested in everything.
Oh my.
Huh.
I hear she has a very limited sense of what's interesting.
I see.
So you don't think it was the fact that your voice doesn't ever modulate from like just a one tone,
I don't know if that's it.
Okay.
You can't get inside someone's head.
No, that's true.
And definitely not Oprah's.
No. Wow. Well, Liz, do you have any cheeses?
I have so many cheeses.
What, do you want to pick one?
You want the brie or the Gouda?
Legoo, Sue Legoo.
Legoo. Okay. So my cat army.
Sure.
I have a cat army, a group of
feral cats.
Approximately 87 feral cats that travel with me, sleep on me as a warm blanket, nourish me. I nourish them, by feeding them, not nursing them.
Right.
With different foods that I get from different places. Anyway, I decided to take a sojourn.
When was this?
Well, on Thanksgiving.
Oh, right.
Yeah, on Thanksgiving, I like to take, after our Thanksgivings of the past that have not gone that well. And you seem like you and Seth had a whole thing that you were going to be doing,
Well,
Seth Meyers?
No, I wish.
Seth Rogen?
Nope. I wish. My stepfather, Seth, and I are living solo. We still have not heard from Diane or Costawe,
your half-sister.
Half-sister. We're hoping they're doing well in Orlando. We would love to hear an update, but it was just the two of us. So we got some Mugu Gai Pan and we went through a couple screeners. We watched Crazy Rich Asians
and you also made all those crafts. You made it like a ton of crafts and decorated for Christmas.
That's right. We decorated for Christmas. We had a great time, but we missed you. We definitely missed you.
Oh, that's nice to hear. I wrote on the back of the cats. They can do a thing where they like sync up as one big cat. And so I sort of wrote on the back of them up into the burned areas.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
And camped for a while and just thought about like, I don't know, POV, like what's important, who I am in the grander scheme of the world, what I need to be doing differently in my life. How I can make my life about the things that matter.
It's almost like you had a form of death and came back from it.
Yeah, and
it's
regrowth.
Like we're both
in the same
over.
place. That's why I probably have so many questions for you. It just feels like we're all at this point in time being given an opportunity,
That's right.
to remake ourselves, to say out loud what is important. Is it Black Friday? Is that what's important?
Racist.
Is it
No, Black Friday is the Friday after Thanksgiving when everyone gets up and buys
a lot of sales.
There's a Marina Del Rey
televisions.
version of Black Friday where everybody
What?
just acts black.
No,
That's those kids that tried to kill you. Those are bad kids.
That's not right.
That's what they told me.
No. And then you did it?
I had to. It was Black Friday. I didn't want to be disrespectful.
no.
Do not get and there's video of that?
There is video.
Oh.
No.
You're going to want to keep that out of the hands of anybody to see it because I don't want, listen.
Don't worry. Brian Schatzline has it coming to him.
All right, good.
And
So
no
you're
one will
dropping
ever
your
know
Gs.
it's me. Huh?
You're dropping your G's. That's what they told me. That was one of the things they told me to do on Black Friday is drop my G's.
This isn't right. This isn't right.
Yeah.
All right, you guys, we have to go to a break.
All right, we're going to a break, and when we come back, we're going to do a little Listener's Love Lockdown, right, Liz? Answer some love questions.
That's right.
And Cory is going to weigh in about what is love like on the other side.
I don't see a scale.
Weigh in. Get it?
See what I mean? And he always follows up his awful jokes with, it's a thinker. I'm just going to come in with some piano and then just...
We'll be back with a little more Womp It Up right after this break.
Pretty eyes, pirate smile.
Welcome back to Womp It Up. I'm Charlotte Shardog Listler, and this is Marissa Wompler. This is a segment that we call Listler's Love Lockdown. Started as a joke. Haha. Just kidding. We were answering real questions, but they got more and more serious because you guys are being #authentic with us. And that was a sharp cut out.
That was a sharp cut.
Sorry.
Oh, back in?
I'm just double fingering it over here.
Oh, that's what Cory's mom said.
You double finger your burger.
There we go. Anyway, we appreciate you. If you want to submit a question for Listeners Love Lockdown, please email us at wompupthejams with a Z at gmail.com. All right. Our first question comes from someone that I can't say her name.
And you're taking these randomly. Is that right, Liz? Do you read these beforehand or are you just taking whatever's next?
I don't really read them.
Okay.
And you can't say this person's name because they asked for anonymity or because you can't make it out.
I don't want to. I can make it out. It's an email. I'm just choosing to not share identities.
We only have
discretion.
4 to 5 fans. So if we were to say their Twitter handle, everybody
We don't.
would
We
know.
have people coming all the way to Jersey Mike's.
All right. Go ahead.
Dear Listener, Marissa, and
Get
guest.
Mike's way.
Cory, I am hoping to get your considerate and insightful advice on a touchy subject. My fiance and I have been together for over 5 years and are getting married this summer. He is by far the best partner and friend that I've ever had.
Aw.
We compromise on so many things and accept each other for our faults. Because of this, we very rarely have instances of major hard feelings or long-term arguments. However, as our wedding day approaches, feelings against changing my last name grow stronger. My daughter has the same last name. The whole name-changing process is a royal pain in the ass, and overall, I find it to be an antiquated patriarchal tradition.
Okay.
I've considered hyphenating and making his last name my middle name, but I still find it to be a totally unnecessary bureaucratic step in becoming his wife. I was previously married and am now divorced, so I've been through the name-changing process already. He feels that he is being punished for what my ex-husband put me through, but I have continued to tell him that I'm simply a different person now with stronger and more feminist ideals. Logically, he knows it is ridiculous that he feels this strongly about taking his name, but emotionally his feelings are hurt. He feels that by me denying his name, that I am denying him. I hate that I am making him feel this way. The issue has kind of taken a back seat, and I'm afraid to bring it up. However, I'm afraid that as our wedding date gets closer and the issue becomes reality, there will be unexpected eruption or underlying resentment going into our marriage. It's so confusing because he has always fully supported my ladies doing it for themselves attitude, which is one of the many reasons I love him so much. Any wisdom from you would be an honor. Thanks for this hilarious yet inspiring podcast and for being your authentic selves.
Well, first thing I'd like to say is I think it's great that she is not just letting it go and instead is facing it head on. Because I think one of the things about marriage, not having been married, but watching Seth and Diane, listen, where they have ended up, I wish on nobody. She's living with a trainer, Tony Rodriguez in Orlando. We might never see her again. And one of the things I watched them do was let these tiny things, these resentments build up. And then it's like soap scum you can't get off. There comes a point of no return.
Mr. Clean, there's a thing that'll get it right off.
Is there? Well, I need that because if I'm ever going to have sex in my tub, I want it to be clean.
Yeah, you do. And you won't do that unless it's an empty tub and you can fill up balloons or something and pretend it's bubbles.
I'm going to ride it on my surfboard.
That's an old reference.
Well, she has sex in a tub. She's having sex with Jay-Z in a tub.
It's a much...
There we go.
It's a much bigger tub than the one we're talking about in your condo.
Here's a bit of advice that maybe sounds trivial, but actually sometimes it works, I've found, for some things.
Okay.
When you're faced with two choices and they seem like you can't decide between the two, sometimes I pretend to myself, all right, it's going to be decided by the flip of a coin. And heads, it's one thing, and tails, it's the other.
And how do you feel?
And then you live with it. Yeah, and your instant gut reaction to it, I feel relieved, or I feel terrible. Sometimes that tells you where you actually will be if you had to be forced into it.
I love this idea. I also wanted to, I'm reading another self-help book in my attempt to get it right. I haven't died, but I got to tell you, I'm back. I'm here for a reason. I'm going to figure it the fuck out. But the recent book I'm reading is called Essentialism, all about distilling your life down to what you actually care about. And one of the quotes was, if the answer to something is not hell yes, it's a no. So I'm actually feeling like if the answer to changing your name is not a hell yes, it needs to be a no. Now, what are you going to do about it? How are you going to explain that and work through that with your partner? That's where I'm at.
I'm wondering, is her last name not her maiden name? If it's the same name as her daughter by her ex-husband, then it might be her ex-husband's last name. And I bet that has a lot to do with why your husband...
No, because I think she said, I've been through the name-changing thing. And
when she got married.
Her daughter has the same she has the same last name as her daughter.
I'm just thinking about Gilmore Girls. Well, she never married that guy until season 5. What a mistake. I digress.
We don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. That's hurtful that you won't watch that show.
I think here's being a person who doesn't often have big fights, generally speaking, because I'm very good at of doing all the things that would circumvent them before they happen. And especially with someone that you love as much as you love your soon-to-be husband.
Beyonce.
I think it feels huge to say to them, this isn't right for me. Or anything that might upset that person. Mm-hmm. Because you do not upset them on a regular basis. You guys are pretty synced up. But it sounds to me like a big, big conversation is in order, and you should give yourself room for that. You should say, I want to talk about this.
I want to hear you out.
I want to hear you out. I want to share. Maybe you read parts of this email to him. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you guys talk about it. And he could say, like, this is what it is for me.
Because what's underneath it, right? Usually when you've got anger, you've got something. What's the meta message, right? What is he feeling, I'm sure, threatened? Listen.
And she could ask herself, why is she being so resistant to it? Maybe she's really just mad at the ex.
Maybe there is a piece of that.
Or fear about, what if I go ahead and change my name and then this doesn't work out?
Because it's definitely not about how hard it is to change your name. Because it is hard to change your name. I know, okay? I was, August Wilson's father, and I went through that multiple times.
That's right.
But
that's her illegitimate son, August Wilson.
Well, but we were married at one point, just not when we conceived August.
Right.
So it is a pain in the ass to stand in the line to get the paperwork, to do all of that stuff. And it's a pain in the ass that only the woman has to do it. The man doesn't have to fucking lift a finger, right? But, that part of it is worth it if you want that. And it sounds like you really don't want that. And
because maybe is the fear for you that you're giving up your identity, into this relationship that has been working thus far.
And his fear might be maybe she's not as committed as I thought she was.
Yeah.
Right.
So you guys need to have a good conversation about it.
That's right.
I think. And it doesn't necessarily, and it's okay if you cry during it. It's okay if he gets upset. You guys just stay in it, listen, say what's underneath, and make it to the other side, because you clearly love each other to the ends of the earth.
I would also say a little quick Google on how to validate somebody. Even if you don't agree with their point of view, we can still validate the emotion. You know what I'm saying? So, and I think that being heard goes a long way. So he may just need to talk it out, and he may just need to hear you say, I completely hear what you're saying. That doesn't mean that you're saying, and I'm going to change my name. Do you know what I mean?
All right, let's move on. Next question. Hi, Wompler and Listler. A longtime friend of mine has been losing their battle with substance abuse for several years now. Their drinking and drug use has caused our friendship to become distant to the point that my friend has now been hospitalized with organ failure at least twice. No. And I've only found out months afterward via the grapevine. I sometimes see photos on social media of mutual acquaintances and friends out with my friends at bars, and I get upset because I don't think they should be out drinking with them. If I have heard about what is going on from 2,000 miles away, there's no way our extended friend network back home is unaware, since they are the source of my info. I'm going back home next month for a wedding, and there is a good chance my friend will be there. I know this will be a drinking crowd, and I don't know how to handle a situation where my friend is asking to do shots with me, seeing as how I have feelings about enabling what is, at this point, a life-threatening dependency. I know I am only responsible for my actions, and I long ago gave up on the idea of being capable of convincing them to get help. But I also don't want don't want what could possibly be the last time I see them alive to be a fight about how I'm judging them, nor do I want the guilt of joining Team Enabler. Is accepting my friend's fate as something outside of my control and just wanting to have our possibly final interaction be a good one that doesn't leave them feeling worse about themselves the best move, or is it just passing the buck? This is a good question.
I'm just, I don't know what way to turn.
Here's the deal. You are not this person's friend anymore. You were their friend. You live very far away. It doesn't sound to me like you talk to them on a regular basis.
You're taking me for a ride, Listler. Even if this substance abuse is coming between them, there's still friendship there. He still cares so deeply about his friend.
He does care, but he needs to care about himself first, and it's eating him up inside.
Right, because he needs to get hashtag authentic with his friend.
He has taken the appropriate boundaries to remove himself from the situation. He knows what is going to work and what isn't going to work. Obviously, everything that he could have done to help, he's already done, and it isn't working.
But he feels, has he been able to say face to face?
That's going to happen at a wedding? He doesn't even know if this guy's going to this wedding.
In his letter, in what he wrote, he said that
he's tried that face to face.
He's tried it before, and he doesn't want to do it again. To be called judging him, because apparently, obviously,
has he already done it face to face? Is that what he said? Okay, you got that vibe.
But also, I don't know if you can do that at a wedding, especially if this is so advanced. It's not
the time.
Yeah.
But here's my deal, right? I'm all about, are you going to regret not saying something? Because, well, here's the deal. What's effective? Do we think if we say something, it's actually going to make a difference? Probably not. But what if? Do you want to live with that regret?
Well,
just
maybe,
because it gets uncomfortable? Don't do it at a wedding, but say, hey, I'd love to meet you for coffee, and say to your friend, I love you so much. And I just need to say this because I'm not here with you physically. You need help. Can I help you get help? And what if the guy says, yeah, and you didn't say it?
Listen, sure. But this friend lives 2,000 miles away, and he cannot take his friend on as a caretaker. He is not that person in that person's life. He can share with the person, it hurts me to see this. I struggle when I see that you're in the hospital for organ failure. You need help. He can say that. Mm-hmm. Does he need to have a coffee and sit down and dump that on this guy? Like, the guy is an alcoholic. He is surrounded by family and friends that don't know how to not enable him. Is his 2,000 mile away friend the one that needs to save the day here?
I don't know.
He could write a letter.
Or maybe you do just say it kind of matter of factly, like, sorry, I'd rather not. I know you've had trouble with it. I don't want to contribute, but I hope you have a good time, and then just remove yourself so that you've sort of
Of course, we're not going to be taking shots with this guy. No. Of course. I think that, I just feel like what we're always saying is people need to be hashtag authentic, both with themselves and with each other. And so if this person is that worried about his friend and he feels like he can't see him without telling him the truth, I would just say find another time than the wedding to see him and to tell him how you feel, and then make that your last time.
Yeah.
I'll never stop trying.
I know, but that's not healthy. He needs to protect himself. This guy is eating him up. If this were my friend and they were continually hurting themselves, like physically in the hospital because they can't handle their drinking, I would have to block them. Because what is it doing every day for me to see that? For me to see you killing yourself? You've got to protect yourself and remove yourself from a situation that you can no longer affect.
I've never been to Al-Anon nor AA, but I do have a friend who went to Al-Anon once, and she was so angry because she thought she was going to go there and get a plan for how she could have an intervention with her family member. And instead they said, no, this isn't about that. This is about taking care of yourself. So maybe you're right.
If you're worried about it being your last interaction, then maybe you do have like a day, you say, hey, I'm going to be in town, would love to see you for a coffee, and then just get a coffee with him and just catch up. And then at the party, just avoid getting
scenario.
wasted with him. Hit the dance floor, do what you got to do for your friend's wedding, and then bounce.
You know what else I'd say? What if you were to give a call over to Al-Anon and just talk to somebody about this situation and just say, here's where I'm at. Is there something I could do? Because they've had a lot more experience with this, obviously, than we have.
Yeah, totally.
You know?
Yeah.
Let's do that.
It's not
Let's
a
do
bad
that.
idea.
All right.
Woo! You guys are really bringing the heat.
Really bringing the heat.
I know it feels like a turn in a light, romp about flatlining and returning from the dead. But I think it's tonally right on board.
It is, because what are we here for but to help each other, right?
In whatever way we can.
Cory still hasn't told us what his mission in life is.
Well, I've just been enjoying your sunny disposition.
Nice.
And I used to think that before I died, I used to think you were a total bitch.
Wow.
Is that true?
Let's get in the
Everyone
spotlight
does.
on.
Everybody does? I don't care. I'm not a bitch. I'm a boss. What is this?
Just go with it, okay? This
This
is
is you belong to the city.
Spotlight on Nice, Glenn Fry.
Cory Damron, imagine myself drawing a warm bath, filling it with rose petals, and asking you to slip your clothes off, the armor that you wear. Uh-oh, I didn't see this coming.
It's going to be hard to get my underwear off because I'm hard as a rock.
I was using a metaphor, Cory.
Oh,
Cory, do I need to get Sue Lagoo in here?
have her blow my...
Cory, I want you to slip beneath the water here and allow yourself to be vulnerable in this moment, because I have long held the opinion that boring people are the worst. But I think underneath everybody, there's got to be a kernel of something interesting.
I'm good in the sack.
What?
I'm good in the sack.
What do you mean? You've had sex? Besides just people blowing on your ball sex?
Yeah.
Or are you talking about the three-legged race or a sack race?
Yeah. That's what I meant.
I thought for some reason, oh my God, he's one of those guys you would know he had sex with his babysitter or something. No, you're actually just saying you're good in the three-legged race, like when they do field day?
Undefeated.
But you also have had sex. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
With who?
Well, most of the girls in our grade.
Is this as of late?
Yeah.
So, and why are they having sex with you?
You know, I find that if I don't want to ask that question because then I think
It might stop
they'll
happening.
think twice about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there is something about you, it's like you hold a secret or something. Now, but afterwards when you start talking, they're as bored as they ever were?
Like Gina, the goth
Yeah, yeah,
girl,
yeah.
she's like, I technically, if I have sex with you, I've had sex with a corpse because you were dead for 6 hours.
And you'll take
So
it.
now
You'll
she
take
gets
it.
necrophilia points, but the easy way.
Right.
So I think a lot of people
Are
have
doing
their
it
own
for that.
motives.
Wow. Wow.
So people are using you for things.
Well, maybe, or maybe we all have a use for each other.
Cory, you almost died twice. You did. I mean, you almost died once. You died for real the second time. What regret?
What are you talking about?
Remember when
The half
when
gainer, I just
half
broke
gainer-
my hands, and then I was
I see,
handed
I
a
see.
live wire and run over by a
Thinking-
car in a
I
backyard.
was thinking that was all of that.
No,
was
but
all
also
as one.
no. Also, his mother fell asleep at the wheel driving him to school once, and he almost died there.
Oh, I didn't know that was
Yeah.
an almost death
Yeah.
scenario. Seems like the world has been trying to kill you for a long time.
Well, what doesn't kill you?
What?
Makes you wake up in a morgue box. What is on your bucket list, Cory?
Oh,
Before you die again for real, what is on your bucket list?
I'd like to
Top 5, rattle them off.
go to Australia
Okay, why?
to hold a kangaroo.
Okay.
Right.
All right. What else? What else?
Watch two kangaroos box.
That doesn't happen in real life. That's a cartoon.
Okay.
They do. They
Have kangaroo boxing?
Yeah, on YouTube.
Okay.
Look up kangaroos boxing.
But you want to see it in
Sometimes
person.
they box a person.
Next one.
Kick a kangaroo's ass.
Oh my God.
Is this all kangaroo specific bucket list?
Well, that's why, you got to go to Australia for that.
Right.
I don't know. They're fairly sequential.
Why do you hate kangaroos so much?
What is your beef with the kangaroo?
I guess it all goes back to that, what's that guy's Crocodile Dundee?
Yeah.
I always hated that movie.
Why?
Oh.
Because he was
I think that would make you hate crocodiles, not kangaroos. But I guess I get it.
Yeah, sometimes
Remember when they killed that kangaroo and they held it up to make it look like it was shooting a gun?
Hasn't anything like haven't you ever been mad? Like, haven't your mom or your dad or your husband or your wife, hasn't somebody ever been mean to you and then you're mean to the next person you see, but not the person?
That's right.
So I think that's
What was it about Crocodile Dundee that got you so cheesed?
his accent.
But yet you want to go to
Australian
Australia.
I know the most annoying accent I think there is on the face of planet Earth. Is
Really?
the Australian accent.
Wow. We have a lot of Australian people that listen to this podcast. So
Really? Well, luckily they're not talking
at
because
us.
then I would be probably irritated.
yeah.
Or as they say, irritated.
That doesn't sound.
That's how I
accurate.
hear it.
All right, we got to wrap it up, Marissa. You're going to make him,
I'm giving it my best.
No, you're not. You're screaming at him. Bucket list. Say it now.
I know. It seemed a little pushy. Little.
Cory, I spoke to your dad.
What?
I spoke to your dad, and he said that if he could go back, he would have locked you in that morgue and thrown away the key.
That sounds like my dad.
Does that bother you?
Well, at least it's consistent.
In the 6 hours that you were dead, he remodeled your room.
Yes, he did. He also gave away my clothes and said that my birthday was just a Tuesday from now on.
How did that make you feel?
Every year it's going to be a Tuesday no matter what?
That's just his way of putting it.
Okay.
How did you feel when you came home to your house and you walked in your room and you saw an elliptical trainer?
Well, they rolled you in, right?
They rolled you in.
I have, it's sort of like, have you ever seen a dog when they give him a wheel cart?
Yeah, for
his
the back legs.
Yeah.
That's basically what I have.
How did you feel when you saw that?
Mostly sore because I'd just been run over by a car. But, we have unfinished business, he and I. And we will, I'm thinking of taking him to court.
For what?
Maybe that's what.
Loss of bedroom.
You haven't sued the man who convinced you, blindfolded you, convinced you to do a half gainer, gave you a live wire, did donuts on your chest. You have not
And
brought...
on our lawn, he writes, fuck you and your parents in the ass.
And your parents in the ass. And yet you're going to bring your dad to court for loss of bedroom.
It's misdirected.
Cory?
See, it's like the Crocodile Dundee.
That's right. Cory, if you are going
Maybe
to make the use of this second chance in life, you got to contact what's underneath.
Okay. You've always
Okay.
been a bitch to me and you can eat shit. I mean, if I could.
Wait a second.
Oh, I thought you were wanting me to express.
Not on me.
Oh.
This is my podcast.
Oh.
Hey,
Okay, then I won't take a dump on this desk.
you know what, man?
Hey, pull your
Hey,
pants back
hey!
up. Pull your pants back up.
Oh my
Cory.
God!
Hard to with a boner.
Oh! Oh God, it's coming out! Ah! Well, we're gonna have to clean this up. Sam, can you clean this up, please?
More like eat it up.
Oh my God! Go back to being boring.
You've been listening to Womp It Up. I'm Charlotte Sherdog Listler.
I'm Marissa Wompler.
Tune in next week for more Womp It Up.
We gotta take care of this hot lunch for real.
God.
This is no joke.
Hey.
This smell is intense.
Smells like burger, ironically.
Hey, this is Arnie from the comedy podcast Hello from the Magic Tavern, a chat show I host from the magical land of Foon with my co-hosts
Usador, the Blue Wizard,
and Chunt, the shapeshifter.
Most weeks we interview adventurers,
wedding planners,
ambulatory trees.
But this week we have a special episode.
I am so excited to learn about the Earth lore contained in Pride and Prejudice.
We're going to do a book club of Pride and Prejudice.
And you said this is a well-loved book on Earth, right?
Yeah, it's one of those books that people love or were forced to read, or more likely it's one of those I'm gonna get to it.
And some of our most beloved guests are returning to read the book with us and enjoy some drinks and food over book club.
We have Flower, we have Crom the Barbarian.
And Germ.
You know who they are.
Maybe you don't give a crap about what an academic thinks about Jane Austen, but don't you want to know what a wizard and a badger think about it?
Not enough spells.
Not enough grubs.
Not enough sword fights.
Whether you love Pride and Prejudice or have no interest in reading it and just want to listen to a book club go really off the rails, you'll enjoy this week's Hello from the Magic Tavern.
We shall defeat this book.